Self-care. How do you care for yourself? That is the topic that we're listing up this morning. I think this is going to be very enlightening because so many of us are such hard chargers that we don't have a great answer for the question. So hopefully by the time we're done today, the group collective will give everybody some answers. So we're going to start off with introductions. It's 8:03. We are not going to punish the punctual. Whoever else comes will receive them as they come. But let's start off by first introducing ourselves however we like. We're going to start off with you, Mr. Alan Edwards. Please introduce yourself however you like to this wonderful collective.
Hi, Brian. Hi, everyone. I'm Alan Edwards from Hampshire in the UK, and we carry out transformation of property value. What does that mean? It means when you see empty shop premises or empty offices on the high street or in areas where you travel around, we take those buildings and we convert them into high quality residential. We've got a closed down nursing home that we're converting into 13 one-bedroom apartments for
Amazing.
vulnerable people. This is for disabled or vulnerable people, people with needs, long-term accommodation, high quality accommodation. It's an economic solution for the local authority, and basically it helps to solve the housing crisis. So it's a win-win all round. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Alan. What a noble mantle to choose to pick up. Let's keep it moving. Mr. Mark Arnell, please introduce yourself however you like.
Hi, I'm Amell. I'm proud to say that we're releasing localbusinessrising.com, which takes the next step. People get all these leads and they say, okay, what do I do now? Well, we have a platform that allows people to build their own marketing arm of their business and take that to the next level and start making everybody happy.
Fantastic. Local business rising. You said releasing.
Yeah, with Tina's help, we built a platform. I've been teaching marketing classes for a while, and with Tina's help, we built a platform that allows everybody to meet and work on the next stages of their business. There's a lot of people that buy leads or they get leads or go to this platform, but there was never really a solid answer for what do I do next.
Fantastic. Let's keep it going. Let's go right to excuse me, let me update the topic. Is how do you practice healthcare? How do you practice healthcare? Self-care, excuse me. How do you practice self-care? So let's go to Tina because Mark kind of like teed you up, Tina.
Well, thank you very much for talking me up there, Mark, and for Brian for letting me talk. We don't necessarily need to hear me, but yes, I'm
Yes,
a
we
part
do.
of yes, I'm a part of Local Business Rising. I'm one of the ambassadors, and I have helped Mark, but Mark's been just, I mean, as you see, he fits in this group, so it's just awesome. So I'm a high conflict divorce coach specialist, and my job is to help you deal with your divorce, understand your divorce, move through your divorce, help with all of the decision making, which is hampered when we're underneath stress. So my job is to help you deal with that stress. And in dealing with that stress, I also help you deal with your attorney. All of this can save you thousands of dollars in your divorce. And in one such case, I saved the gentleman $100,000. We were actually able to measure that because I came in after his attorney was not doing a really great job. So anyways, that's who I am. And I'll turn it back over to you, Brian.
Thank you, Tina Huggins. High conflict. Wow. I love it. Love it. Let's keep it moving. I'm hoping that everyone has a pad and pen as we go along because the brilliance in this room is going to be amazing. And if you don't capture it, you're going to miss some of it. Mr. Daniel Kobrenner, please introduce yourself however you like.
Hello, everyone. First of all, always a pleasure being with all of you and seeing your smiling faces. So I'm Daniel Kobrenner. I'm a mental fitness coach, an international motivational speaker, and the host of a podcast called Redesign Your Life Today, which is all about transformational stories and motivating others. I'm helping busy and driven entrepreneurs over 40 who feel stuck without a sense of purpose and clarity to find back this purpose, the confidence, and to really live the best life they can. And the way I do it is more specifically about mental fitness. It's about helping people uncovering the saboteurs. These programs running on autopilot in their voices, like the judge, the controller, the avoider, the victim. So it's about uncovering them, understanding that these programs are not you, and reframing it. Go to the right part of your sage where you've got these muscles to build this confidence, the clarity, and to live the life on your terms. You will find
Thank
my
you very much.
contact details in the chat.
Yes, keep the chats hot. Put all your contact information in the chat, please. Comment on each other's stuff. Highlight each other's stuff. Keep the chats hot. Keep the chats moving. Where's my man, John? How you feeling, sir? I'm gonna keep it moving because John is having some connection challenges, and Peter's not feeling great. This group was spearheaded and assembled because Peter Beckenham had an idea. And he had an idea of amazing friends of his can gather and network and share. And John D. Allen has been the best second that you could ask for in building this room. John remembers stuff, he tracks stuff, he keeps stuff going. So I'm very excited to have been here more than a year myself. Let's keep the game going, Mr. Vangelis I've said it correct before. Caligori. Oh my God. Help me, Dan Vangelis.
Hello, hero.
Hollow Hero.
Hello, hero.
Hollow Hero. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I had just an aside. I had an amazing conversation with Mark, one of the most unassuming guys. That's just fabulous, unbelievable, just amazing individual. And what I do is in the realm of artificial intelligence. Um, I was watching a movie a couple of days ago, and it was about people that were not really tech savvy, but they wanted to or realized they really would help them if they got into the technology world. And so I really want to help people who are not savvy in that technology world to be able to merge that technology in a way that can help them maintain their integrity of doing what they feel like they really want to do in their heart and not compromise, not surrender to the system and not abandon their core principles. And it can happen to companies as well, companies that want to be able to maintain whatever their place is in the community, but be able to embrace and merge technology into their business and also their life. Thank you.
Thank you, Vangelis. How you doing? Again, how do you practice self-care is going to be our topic once everyone is fully introduced. Miss Mary Stanley with some alphabet behind her name today. Please introduce yourself however you like.
Hi, so I'm Mary Stanley, the founder of Supportive Minds, and I am an internationally certified trainer and specialist in autism and trauma. And so, what we are expanding our organization, not just for autism and trauma soldiers and veterans, but a lot of the work we do is breaking down parts of your brain and understanding how it works to connect with each other at a different level. We're expanding it to just kids in general. Families that are struggling to connect with their kids, kids that are struggling to listen, do what they're supposed to do that you would like them to do, and understanding how to just be. And all kids are monsters, but that's not a bad thing. Kids that are monsters, that are getting into stuff, that are sitting there and thinking outside the box, are the kids that you know someday can think for themselves, do what they need to do, and survive in the world. So they're going to move out and they're not going to come back. They're going to come visit, but they're not going to move back. It's the kids that you do everything for that are the ones that can't solve their problems. That are the ones that are never going to leave your house. And so getting parents to understand that and allowing them to just be a kid is crucial. And that's what we're expanding into now.
Thank you, Miss Mary Stanley. Have you guys taken a moment and realized how disseparate each one of us fields of endeavor are, but the beauty, the courage, and the capability represented in this room? The courage it takes to pick up the mantles that you guys have picked up is impressive to me today. Brother Kavi Galante, please come in here and introduce yourself however you like.
Thank you, my friend Brian, and thank you for leading the way for all of us too. Anyways, my name is Kavi, calling from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. I was just talking to a coach, and she was struggling with how she builds her business through social media, but recently got suspended very recently. That's not a fun experience. Because what I really do is I help them build an email asset that bulletproofs their business, where they get to build a warm list of new subscribers that help them attract leads to their signature offer. And that's what I do.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Kavi. Let me give this a shot here. Mr. John D. Allen. One of the things that he does, amongst other things, and can you talk, John?
Right now, yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. I was about to try to tell what you do, but go ahead.
No, basically, I really appreciate your help this morning, Brian, because technology is working at its best here. The internet connection sucks, and it's kicked me out about 8 times since I got on this call. Basically, I'm John D. Allen, Allen Small Business Coaching. What I do is I'm a fixer. I see problems that people have in their business, with their systems, their technologies, their style of doing it, and I help them fix it. This is not only in their business lives, but also works in their personal life as well. So if you need help with your systems and they're not working, I teach trust-based selling and marketing. Basically meaning you need to learn to ask better questions so you get better answers. We've all had the privilege of dealing with somebody that doesn't listen to us, but just tries to ram their idea down your throat. That's not how you win friends and attract clients and do business. People don't buy when they understand you. They buy when they feel understood. Ryan, I'll turn it back over to you.
What a cool way of putting that. And he's 100% correct. Not only that, John, you're also one of the easiest people to like in the world. You're so easy to like because you're not, John is, he's not full of himself. John understands that there's plenty good room, and John does a very good job of connecting people. He's what I would consider good ground people. My name is Brian K McNeill. I'm a sales coach. I'm a sales confidence coach because there's a lot of amazing entrepreneurs that offer services that help the world, but a lot of them do not earn nearly the money that they could or that they should. And very often they don't earn that money simply because they do not know how to sell it well, or they're using an antiquated method of selling that no longer works today, or they have a negative mindset when it comes to the concept of selling. And what I do is actually help them to learn what to say and what to do so they can sell themselves, which they often forget to do, and their services better than they ever have before so that they earn more money than ever before. And I do it through my coaching, through my workshops, through my talks from platforms, or through my books. Super excited that I published 9 books that I consider excellent books. So I'm hoping you guys have put some thought to today's topic, and we're going to launch right into it. Even though Peter's not talking, Peter, I will tell you, I'm inspired that you're in the room. Okay, you don't feel good, but he's showing up. What? Most of life is showing up. So even just able to see you, Peter, is motivating and inspiring me. Okay,
Ryan,
so thank you.
just before we start, got a few apologies from people.
Come on.
George Nagel, Glenna, Christine Beck, Gab, Mark Engel. These people are normally with us, but for whatever reason today, they're not available. So, with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Brian, so we can carry on with today's topic. You're doing a great
He's already said his internet is challenging today. But he's still showing up anyway. He is soldiering on. It would have been the easiest thing in the world for Peter and John to just beg off today. The internet's not working. I'm going to give up the game. Okay. I'm not feeling great, so I'm going to pull the covers up and just stay in the bed. But they showing up. Woo! Today's topic: how do you practice self-care? I really want you guys to share. And we'll take it in order. Raise your hand. There's a reaction down at the bottom. Raise your hand. I want to offer something as we're preparing. Raise your hand. You're either going to volunteer or be voluntold. That means if you don't volunteer enough, I will just pick people to ask. How do you practice self-care? And I think the key to it is practice. Okay. A lot of us have ideas about self-care, but how do you practice it? Come on, Mr. Alan Edwards, what you got?
Right, thanks, Brian. Yeah, I've not really got a good track record on self-care, I'll confess. But recently I've been working with Daniel, and we've been doing some things together. And I've been getting to know a lot more about myself and the saboteurs that can interfere with your own abilities and your own ambitions and so on. And so I've been spending more time on myself, and I intend to carry on doing meditation, more learning about how the mind works. And in conjunction with the work that I've been doing with Daniel, I've been doing a course with Elena Apalkova about thinking into results. It's Bob Proctor's inspired course. So I think self-understanding and then self-care by meditation and by exercise and good healthy eating all help to prioritize your own self-care, which as we all know is essential for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. You brought up so many amazing points. And some of the stuff he brought up was simple that we don't do. And he also confessed that he doesn't always do it great. I mean, who else could raise their hand to that? Thank you very much. We really appreciate that, Alan. Mary Stanley's hand is up. Come on, Mary, what you got?
So it depends on what I need self-care for. So if I get frustrated or I'm just irritated, I clean my house. It's cleaning puts out the frustrations and makes me feel better and relaxes me. Or I play video games and blow stuff up. Call of Duty, things like that. It's kind of a military thing. And when I just need me time, I watch TV Hallmark movies. And I just sit and veg out on, the cheesy, soapy, choosy, lovey-dovey movies.
Thank you very much, Mary. That's how she practices. And she highlighted some cool things. No one can be on all the time charging. We need some mental breaks. Her video games does that for her. Okay. Thank you very much for bringing that up, Mary. Mr. Daniel Cobrenner, what do you want to contribute to this conversation today, Daniel?
Well, I have to say first, it's a fabulous question. Thank you, Peter.
It is.
You see, what is self-care? First, it's really looking at our needs, understanding, and self-care, very important. It's a decision. It's really the idea that our inner world is important and we've got to look after ourselves if we want actually to be able to look well after others. So the way I practice it, it's different ways. First, it's about spending some time with myself, understanding and reflecting on what is important. How can I help others? How can I do something which is meaningful? Then it's as well something very important is protecting my energy as well. It means setting very clear boundaries. How do you say? Knowing how to say no. Because very often we say yes to everybody, and we kind of, forget ourselves. So going back to what Alan was saying, and thanks, Alan. Obviously, you see, positive intelligence helped me a lot. I mean, I practice, these PQ reps every day. It's about because these negative thoughts, they always come, but it's how you get grounded. How do you keep going back to the present moment? How do you really you pause? And pausing is so important. So it's really about choosing myself and taking really good, being very aware of my needs and how I can address them.
Thank you. Before you leave, Daniel, you mentioned the term. I didn't quite catch it all, but I want to make sure that I do. You said you practice a certain type of rest every day because it's very important to get grounded. What was that rest that you said?
Right. It's called, you see, PQ stands for positive intelligence. You see, this is the
PQ
program
rest.
I'm teaching. And what happens
Okay.
is I learned so much, and actually I changed so many things in my life that I decided to take it on board. And it's because it's remarkable. And Alan knows about it, other people. The more we do that, it's about training the muscles in the right part of our brain. And the more we do that, and this is with repetition, the more we lead from clarity, from abundance, instead of being from a fear state of mind, which comes in our survival mode.
Thank you very
Does it
much,
make
sir.
sense, Brian?
It does. It does. And I want thank you for the follow up there. I want to keep it going because I'm taking good notes and I'm hoping you are too. Mr. Kavi Galante, what you got?
Thank you. So Daniel spoke of something that I was going to share, which was boundaries, but I will expand on that too, because I think that when people think of boundaries, I find people often think about setting boundaries with another person, but it's usually more about ourselves that comes first. And the first thing that comes to mind is having internal boundaries with how we see ourselves. Most people would find that they see themselves less than. And if they made a mistake or they had a win, being like, oh, great, I'm going to celebrate myself. But then if it's something that's unfortunate happen, I call it more of an unwanted event. When an unwanted event happens or I made a mistake, it's so easy to be so hard on myself. And something that I teach a lot of men is to remember that you don't need to, like, with the most loving and generous person, talk to myself like that. The answer is
Mm,
no. And would I allow someone, a client, someone I'm dating, or someone as a friend, would I allow someone to talk me down like that? No, I would have said, don't talk to me like that.
right.
I that doesn't work for me. And or I just have scripts that I go through my head about me setting boundaries with myself and other people. But it really starts with myself because what goes on internally, it will reflect on the outside world. So yeah, remember to set internal boundaries with yourself and be kind to yourself too.
That was amazing, Kavi.
Thank you.
Let me tell you, because he's right. When most of the people think about boundaries, we're thinking about other people
Yeah.
being boundaries you set for them. But the stuff that we say to ourselves sometimes is not kind. You got to set boundaries for what you allow yourself to say to yourself. That was an amazing, amazing contribution. Thank you very much. This
All good.
past weekend, I was at a mountain retreat. Okay, a mountain retreat. It was a spiritual mountain retreat and excellent facilitators. But I had plenty of time to just sit in a very high vantage point looking at the mountains. And it was awesome to see. Well, some of the questions they asked were, how do you see yourself when you don't look at the physical? How do you think of yourself outside of your physical being, the way you look, the way you feel? Outside of that, how do you address yourself? How do you think about yourself outside of physical? How do you think other people see you outside of what you look like, outside of what they see with their eyes? What's going on? That question was significant to me for some reason this past weekend. A lot of questions they asked were so significant to me, but putting yourself in an arena to be fed. This circle does that for us. When I say fed, that means learn from other people, being poured into by other people, allowing yourself to be poured into by other minds. Allowing is the key part of that is amazing. So I'm just thinking, And I really want everyone to contribute. There's a few guys that have not yet added to it, and I will just call on you in a moment. I want you guys to think about that because there's different things. We need each other's perspectives. We really do. We're much better with different perspectives and different ways of sharing it. So thank you very much. Even if it's something similar to what someone else said, it's coming from you is going to be different. Tina Huggins, what you got?
So, in the course of all of the conversation, obviously, Daniel has to use self-care with his clients, and I know that Mary uses self-care with her clients. That's part of the work that we do. And so often those of us who do that, we don't have a good self-care regimen, kind of like the mechanic who doesn't work on his own car because he's too busy,
Exactly.
right? But for me, I have a very important self-care regimen. And since my husband died, I've been working at trying to get it back together for the whole week, not just parts and pieces. And this week I was able to accomplish that. But I'm up and I spend anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours in meditation in the mornings, prayer, meditation work. Then I spend anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour working out. And then I spend a little bit of me just kind of defragging before my day starts, except for on this day because I get up a little bit earlier or I get to the computer earlier. But it's super important. And where Daniel talked about his relaxation technique, that getting into that state where you can just let go and let go of the stress from the day before or the morning, the routine, or the day of is super important for how we can move through the rest of the day and the rest of the week.
Thank you, Tina. Couple phrases I wrote down from what you talked about. She says she has a self-care regimen. And she broke it, something that she does. And then she broke it down. And what I heard was the self-discipline to do it. That's what she has. It takes some discipline to adhere to her self-care regimen because no one's going to be there and police her to do it. No one's going to tell her when to start it. But she has the self-discipline to do her self-care regimen. I thought it was beautiful. Brother Vangelis, what you got?
It took a while for me to discover which self I was caring for.
Ooh.
Because I had built, created, formed different identities in order to function in society in an acceptable manner. And because you live that way so long, you begin to think it is you. And I mean, I cared for that self. I got it certified. I got it trained and all this stuff. I mean, and routines, and I was really good at caring for this self. And then I came to the realization that that self is not me. So, and that took a while. And so now I spend time with several mentors that I have, and I do a lot of reading, and I integrate and I apply what I hear and what I read and what I see now. And because of the level of awareness that I'm at, things that used to be rigid routines, I'm more wanting to do things as I'm inspired to do them. And it's just like in first grade, the first, when you go to school and you first start, you're with that teacher because you're at a certain level of awareness. And then as you move up in awareness, you change teachers because they take you to the next level. You don't do calculus, the first time you go to school, adding and subtracting probably. And so because I am where I'm in my awareness, I pay a lot of attention to the life I'm creating. I didn't realize I was creating it. Now I realize I am. So I pay a lot of attention to that, and I decide where I want to and how I want to spend my energy. Thanks.
That was amazing. From the first opening sentence to the last, Vangelis, he started off, which self am I caring for? Which self? And then he explained it because we spend so much time trying to be cool with that group of people, be cool with that group of people. How do I navigate that group of people? How do I fit in with these groups? And you develop personalities for each thing. There's a stand-up comedian named Jim Gaffigan has this funny routine where he talks about his groups of friends. And you can manage your groups of friends until sometimes accidentally the groups meet and you have to whisper, hey man, they don't know that I drank. Or get your groups together, messing that up. Miss Mary Stanley's got her hand up. Come on, Mary.
We're talking about self-care routines. We're talking about taking care of ourselves. But before we can even start to understand and build what we need to make ourselves feel better, is understanding what we feel, how we feel, and why we feel things. In meditations and all these programs we're being taught to do to deal with ourselves, we're not taught and understanding our emotions. Why do we feel this way? How do we feel this way? What's going on in our bodies? Well, the average person only feels 20 emotions. In reality, our bodies feel over 15,000 different feelings and emotions at any given time. So we have to really start looking at our bodies at a different level and understand, all right, I'm frustrated. I'm exhausted. Why? What caused this to happen? So that we can understand how to deal with that to help regulate ourselves and bring ourselves to that next level so that we do feel that inner peace and be able to say, you know what, I can't deal with you today. Enough is enough. I teach emotions to a lot of different levels. And like my daughter, we sit and go back and forth and she'll go, Mom, I can't deal with you today. You're too much. And she understands that level of emotions that she's feeling and understanding, all right, I just need a break. I need to go have my me time. And we're forgetting that aspect as we get older because we're taught to bury. We're taught to, all right, we're in the business world, we're in the family world, we're in the home world. We need to focus in these different departments and deal with that world and departmentize instead of bringing it all together as one person. And we need to adjust all that and become, we are a person. This is what we feel. It's okay.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mary. We've gone around. We got about 10 minutes left as an assemblage left. And so many good people have offered so much good information. I'm hoping that learning is going on. Maybe you picked up something today already. And I'm hoping we have enough time to go back and share some of the stuff that we maybe have picked up on today that we can now implement. That was the hope when we started, that someone would pick up something that they could take away and use today. One of the things that I do to practice self-care, and it's very important to me, is my evening cigar. My evening cigar. Now, because a cigar, you're going to be there for a while. You're not going to just, it's not a 15-minute endeavor. It's an hour and a half most of the time. And you're going to be still, and cigar etiquette dictates that once you start the cigar, you don't put it out till it's done. So you're going to be still. And one of the things that I use my cigar time for is to be still and relax. And I love them. Sometimes my wife had to help me with this. The experience of my cigar, I have to make it almost sacred because like during COVID, when I was we all had to stay home for a while, I would try to schedule an afternoon cigar. But what happened was I found myself working during the cigar and it wasn't the same experience. I have to separate it. It's not work time. This is decompression time. This is Brian time. This hour and a half or so. That's what it's for me. And it matters to me that much. Mr. Daniel Cabrera, come on back in the room, sir.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for everybody's shares and for your share, Brian. You see, another very important part for me in self-care, it's about the people I'm surrounding myself with, like yourselves. You see, after a session like this, my level of energy goes so high. And I'd like to share something with you, if I may. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I attended this conference from the Circle of Fame events called Transform Your Business and Life. I mean, we had wonderful as well here contributions here from Alan, from Vangelis. This was extraordinary, guys. I mean, imagine you are there with heart-centered people sharing, everybody doing things from love, from a place of abundance, from a place of giving. This feeling afterwards, it's like, it brings you to another level. And afterwards, you create friendships. So I really want to encourage everybody who listens to that really surround yourself by the people who are going to uplift you, who are going to motivate you, who are going to grow with you, and whom you'll help growing.
Love it. Thank you. Mr. Mark Amell. Come on back in the room, Mark. And what have you picked up today, or what do you want to contribute to this conversation? I feel energy pulling towards you. Okay.
I kind of put it in the chat, but I don't think you can be good to anybody unless you're happy with yourself, and you have to get yourself in that right step. And the things I look at are structure, because that reduces stress. Your mindfulness, sleep is very important to me because that's when you heal your body. Exercise, nutrition, but stress and self-awareness. But being retired military, I get blood tests every quarter, whether I want to or not. So I can keep track of how things go.
Love it. I too am. Well, I didn't retire from the military. I'm a veteran as well. So that's amazing too that you're getting your blood checked that often. Nothing is going to sneak up on you. Okay,
Well,
you're going to stay.
I'm diabetic, so they make me do it.
Okay. One thing that Mr. Daniel Cabrera just mentioned, after a time like this, his energy level is higher than it was when he first started. And that's an interesting concept to me because I once heard it before. Zig Ziglar's doctors told him that his energy is much higher when he finishes doing his work than it does when he first started, because he's doing work that he loves, he's speaking, and all those kinds of things. I'm hoping that we all have a similar experience that Daniel was talking about. Our energy level is higher because of the association, because of the people that you're around. And you get to choose where you're going to associate. No one was dragged into this room. Everyone in this room today came here because you decided that your time was well spent here. So everyone that's in the room, you honor everyone else in the room with your presence, but everyone else in the room needed you too. Everyone matters in this circle here. It's amazing. We still got a few minutes left. I'm going to count about 4 minutes left. Can John come back in or no? Or
Yep. Yeah.
okay.
Thanks, Brian. The one thing, everybody, make sure you put your contact information in the chat so that anybody watching this can reach out to you. One of the things that I learned in self-care, and I shared this with a client just this morning, was I heard it 40 plus years ago from Jim Rohn. For things to get better, you have to get better. For things to change, you have to change. And this individual was complaining because life's not treating her with crap. And part of it is she's stuck in her old ways of doing it. And as whatever guy was saying this morning, that it's great that everybody shared this great stuff. But the thing is, we have to look after ourselves. Nobody's going to change us but us. And if you aren't willing to change, nothing is going to change for you. Vangelis brought up a great point. He was being all these other selves, but his true self. Everybody's virtually said the same thing. So what you want to do, ladies and gentlemen, for those that are watching the replay and those that are here, you've got to be true to yourself. If you aren't true to yourself, you're just lying to yourself. And the one other thing that people have brought up, you learn more from your failures than you ever do your successes. It's great to celebrate your success by all means. But when you have a failure or a setback, stop and say, what lesson am I supposed to learn from this? Where am I supposed to grow? What am I supposed to change? So, don't be hard on yourself as, oh God, I screwed up. The world's going to come down on me and all the rest of it. That's not what it's for. It's a lesson to teach you how to change and grow. Thanks for the great job you're doing, Brian, and I appreciate you filling in.
You're very welcome. It's 8:43 a.m. my time. We've gotten out of here sometimes around 8:45. But there might be someone left in this room that maybe there's something that they haven't yet said that they want to contribute. I see your hand, Alan Edwards. Come on.
No, I was just applauding you, Brian.
Applauding. Okay. Thank you for the applause.
That. No, it's a fantastic group to participate in the discussion.
Yes.
And spend an hour just focusing on one subject, which Peter chose for us. And it's been really enlightening, all the discussion, all the different points of view. It's a fantastic discussion group. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Alan. I'm going to lift up what you said. There's an organization called Toastmasters. In Toastmasters, there's a lot of applauding going on. They applaud you when you stand up. They applaud you when you get to the lectern. They applaud you when you leave the lectern. And where do adults get applaud? My ringtone is applause. Anytime I get a phone call, instead of ring, ring, it's an applause. A raucous applause is my ringtone. So, but thank you for lifting that up. I have enjoyed my time here stepping up, but I did what any one of us here would have done. We knew Peter Health wasn't great today. John was having connection issues, and I'll do it again if you want me to. We got a minute left, 1 minute left before we bow out gracefully and go on with our day.
Mary had her hand up.
I'm sorry. I thought we brought her in here. Mary, do you want to come back in?
I didn't have it up. Someone else
Okay.
did in my
It looks
house.
like you got your hands full. Okay. So Mary's hands are full. Does anybody else have anything? Last moment, last word. Okay. Now, even though we meet every Wednesday, we can meet. This relationship continues on. You know, it's an everyday thing. So you could reach out to Peter or John tomorrow, or me or Tina tomorrow, or Kavi today, or Alan. We all can stay connected. I have been honored to serve in this role. You guys have a beautiful rest of your day on purpose.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Brian. Wonderful job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.